This
So
conference will now be
Good
recorded.
job.
I can hit
Wait,
play or start.
It
did you get your
looks a
fiber?
little heavy though.
Yes.
Oh,
Ta-da!
nice.
I need my
That was
soundboard.
fast. I need my camera to work. Here it is.
There you go.
So it showed up 10 minutes before the tractor and trailer with the 400 tumblers from JDS showed up.
Oh, nice. For
So
that
they were
guy
doing
enjoyed offloading that.
turns in the cul-de-sac trying to get shit unloaded.
How awkward was it getting that fiber out of the box and up on that table? Not bad.
So we didn't video the actual of me moving it.
Hey, I help.
So we got it up on the table. She helped me get it up on the table, and from there I could get my arms around it to transfer it over to the. But other than
Sweet.
that, it wasn't that
They're a
bad.
little awkward because there's no real places to grip. You know, it's kind of awkward. But yeah,
He bear
Bear
hugged
hug
it.
it.
And this.
yeah.
And the only issue that we had was the oil bottle did not survive transport. So it is literally all over all of this.
They started bagging that again. Put them in separate bags
is.
to try to help. But it's still
is.
we're having a few cases of that. But the
It's in its
Aurora
own
doesn't even need it.
Yeah, why was there even oil in there to begin
Yeah.
with?
It was
Are they
in its
sending
own
Nova
bag and it went everywhere.
Nova kits? Maybe it's for the cables for the door.
It's on a basic pulley system. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know of anything that needs lubrication in the Aurora, unless you just wanted to coat your lens so you could keep it clean.
Couldn't the rails? These rails, the steel
Maybe the
rails on the side.
rails. Yeah.
Okay.
those get used so infrequent compared to a typical gantry system. You know what I mean? Like
Which
a machine
would
that's
lead
doing
them
hour-long
probably
engrave.
to rust more probably.
I guess we
I
should
just
look at the
I just don't
manual and
mind that
see what the
kind of
PM
rust.
is for it, if there is any. I haven't looked that deep into the Aurora manual because it's pretty much just run it.
Most people probably don't even see those rails because they close their machine.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe? Welcome.
All
Hey,
right,
how we
well,
doing
I
today?
guess good. I guess we'll do our thing. If you want to introduce yourself, if you have any questions, all that stuff, we like to cater it toward that. Otherwise, we go down some rabbit holes. So we'll try to do the official stuff. Do we need to do is Jim, our producer's back, producer Jim? We used to have a format. I'm Brian with Thunder. I guess most everybody's been on here before, but I'll do it anyway. And then the Chris's. So
Chris with Thunder, and then down there, the other Chris.
I'm actually,
yeah.
You're down.
I'm in my top left corner.
Actually,
You're in
that
your
way.
top left corner.
Actually, that way.
That way.
By Hollywood
So,
Squares.
yeah.
Yeah, last week I was going to surprise you guys because I was just going to pop in live from the funeral, and the wife said that probably would not be appropriate.
Yeah, probably
Well,
not.
really, what is appropriate? I mean, that's all, it's subjective, right?
Yeah, I was sitting at the funeral. I was like, hell, might as well. I could pop in and just sit there live from a funeral and let everybody see.
This is definitely not appropriate.
Yeah. What?
Die.
What? I mean,
It's
do I want to
it's
know?
the
Well,
dusty
air.
bulb. It's an
Well,
air.
it's air.
What do they call it? An air blowing. They call it something.
You
For
mean
babies
it's
when
a,
you
List. I think it's in the list.
yeah, it's a baby thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bulb syringe. That's what those are
Yeah,
called. I never used one of those.
you stick with that story.
On the end of it too. I don't know if those do.
I don't know.
Brian,
It was well lubricated as well, though.
Pull it away from you, Joe. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to get through the formalities for a second.
Sorry.
awkward silence.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm better.
What happened? Did somebody else hit record?
No, you might just have some connection issues. We had
Maybe.
a weird like alien ship sound, and then like somebody tried to join and it blipped, and away we go.
That was weird. Okay.
So what's new?
Well, I
Anybody
see
got
that
anything to
everybody's
share?
so it looks like everybody survived the storms.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some last night too, but they didn't seem terrible. I didn't wake up from it.
Yeah, we
I think
was
Brian got hit harder than I did.
Well, a couple of miles away had some total losses on on a home or two, and a big place that everybody goes, Reedville Mill. I think it took a lot of damage, but I didn't even have any of the cardboard boxes that I have sitting out by the trash can blow away. So I had a relatively minor experience.
We had a tornado in Louisville, but that's, you know,
Well, and maybe up in Meade County. But
yeah, I mean, around us, but nothing
Mhm.
here.
oh, they did confirm the Louisville one was a tornado and not straight line. I didn't get to hear
EF1, I think, is what EF1 is what I think they said.
because I knew that last night when I was watching the radars, they were having winds at 90 plus mile an hour going through downtown Louisville, and I'm like, holy crap, that's some strong winds for downtown. The storm before last, we lost power for a day. The neighbors down the road lost power for 2 days, and then we lost internet for 3.
Why there's a break, Joe? Are you you're new, aren't you? You got some questions and comments, concerns?
Yeah, if I can get my yeah, I got my laser about a month and a half ago, something like that. Matter of fact, I think I talked to you and Chris. Chris gave me Chris Myers 30-minute or 1 hour one-on-one, and I think I talked to you before I got
When you were buying
the
it?
laser. So that was probably about
Oh,
2
okay.
months ago, something like that.
Okay, so I did
Hmm?
your sales call then.
Yeah. I went ahead, got the
Oh,
yeah. You did my sales call exactly.
nice. And you still
Yep, did
bought
my
it.
sales call, and then Chris Myers. Yeah, sure did. Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, having some fun with it. Going through struggles, of course, but that's the learning process of everything. So, um, fun part, learning, whatever. So yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, I just like to join up and see what else I can pick up and what kind of information I can get, because I definitely can't contribute just yet. But one of these days I may be able to contribute. But I like to listen and try to learn.
Yeah, if you
Well, I
have
mean,
any
you
questions,
got
go ahead and ask.
yeah.
Thank you.
Tommy, you had some questions, or they're offline for a second, I guess.
I'm still experiencing some lag or something. I don't know if it's on my end or whether it's the GoToMeeting system or what.
System in general seems to be
It
glitchy.
seems, I'll say it seems to be fine on my end.
Okay, you ready for the questions, Chris?
Ready for one at least.
Okay,
Yeah, Brian,
what?
if you, hey Brian, if you start getting, sorry, Tommy, if you start getting too laggy or anything, flip it over to one of us to take over so we don't lose it and then get stuck like we did that one time where you dropped it and nobody could get.
There you go. I'll pass the hot potato to you.
Oh, okay. So I need to record it then. Okay, recording's
Oh,
still in progress. It's still stayed in progress. Okay.
Okay, so here's the question, and I know we've probably had the conversation before, but her and I were in a discussion about it. The 3 origins in Lightburn. So we ran into the problem yesterday of the fact that, and I think it's your firmware. I just verify once I spit out my crap. Because of our setup, we were cutting down full 4x8 sheets. She literally could frame everything, do everything she wanted, but had to walk all the way around the shop to get on the other side of the machine to have to hit origin. That's because of your firmware, correct? or are we just too slow
That,
to remember how to
oh,
do something else?
the user origin requires, if you're in user origin mode, it requires that you press the origin button and physically set that point, at the machine. The way current position is supposed to work is you move the head where you want it. That's going to be the origin. You don't have to push the button. But
Doesn't
current position does not work with our firmware very well. Some people have gotten it to work, but we just say it doesn't. And normally it's not a problem, but because it's just one extra button press. But when you have to walk around a full sheet of plywood every time to get back and forth, I can understand how that can be a problem.
Okay,
And I,
that's what
and I
thought
don't know
it
the
was.
solution unless you like suspender from like over the laser, right? And then you could just hold on to the rope, do like Mission Impossible.
I stopped rigging things like that years ago. I don't do that anymore.
I was trying to be good and cut the stuff down by myself, but this was also when the heavy part of the storm was coming through last night. So, I was trying to
Get out of this
rush.
little.
Yeah, I don't like being in this building during storms like that.
But that's what I thought. It was because of the firmware, and there's no way for the firmware to be updated.
Well, yeah, this firmware is a little different than what you might see like on a computer or on other devices, TVs and things like that. It probably hasn't changed 3 times in 15 years because
Okay.
it's just not something that they actively just, oh, let's improve this or let's improve that. It doesn't really work that way. They'll make improve, I don't know why that doesn't work, and I don't know if it can be addressed or whether they just can't identify what part of the code is causing that. And then sometimes it does work for people, but it's not reliable enough for me to say, yeah, give it a try, usually, as far as using
Okay.
current position.
It's all good. It is what it is. It was just,
And I don't
Okay.
know, maybe we could investigate that a little bit. There may be something on it, we can look around. We just knew that it didn't work and it hadn't really been can we make it work yet, But I can see where it would come in handy and not have to actually get to the panel, back and forth. So,
Oh, okay. Here's another glitch in the matrix question. And Chris, you remember when you were running the fiber and it wouldn't do anything over and over again, and I had to turn it on and turn it off, or turn it off and turn
Yep.
it back on? It did that
Mhm.
again. Is this going to be a continuous thing where it's going to, or what?
It shouldn't. One thing that I did notice, and it could be the sources might be wrong on yours. While we still loaded the EasyCAD settings, the actual source may be wrong.
Okay, because it did it
And I
again.
can't look at mine now, but I will when it's done running this.
have you got the pro or the non-pro?
Non-pro.
Non-pro.
So that was the only other thing. It did it again. Kind of like a computer. It hangs up. I turn it off, turn it on, and it worked.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure this is not the norm.
And we didn't extend any of the USBs or anything, correct?
So I have a powered USB cable
Okay.
because I know you can't run more than 15 feet with a USB. So I bought one of the damn ones that plugs into the wall and is powered.
It's probably a Mac issue.
You knew it was going to start.
I mean,
Well,
that's the common
I will say,
denominator, right?
but I will say that like you figured out that it will stop communicating when you pull the USB. Also, when your screen goes into screensaver mode. So you need to make sure that your computer doesn't go into sleep mode, because then it will stop.
That is nice to know.
Thank you.
You got it.
I guess
The source.
used to send it, go to the controller and hit start, and then this is an active.
It's sending
machine, for lack
actively.
of better words.
Yeah, it's streaming. So, and buffering it. I get, yeah. What were you talking about on the source? I know there was something goofy where you had to pick a different source in the beginning because of some
Yeah,
little thing. Tommy, do you have the 20 or what wattage source? What is it?
50.
The
50
50? Is it a Raycus or
non
JPT?
non
I don't know.
open
Some
open your
Non-pro.
side
What is the
open
non-pro?
that
Well,
side door. Yeah, open
the
that side
50
door.
watt Pro is a
How did
Raycus.
I not unscrew the things?
It's gonna be
Should
gray.
be.
In the,
We haven't unbolted it yet. Give us a minute.
Is,
Oh, there's
are
bolts in
those?
there.
I don't
Yeah,
know
they
if those
both
are bolted
both
shut or
doors
not. Do
shut.
they?
They do. Yeah.
Oh, from
I
the
didn't realize
outside
that.
though. Isn't
Yeah.
Yeah,
aren't they on
yeah,
the outside? Yeah. So
yeah.
at least they're a little easier than on the Nova. You got to kind of get around under the inside.
Bend over and
Yeah.
do some finagling.
Yeah. The FDA makes them
Oh,
do that.
I mean, I've had my little Windows brick. EasyCAD
Raycus.
popped up a message. It was like it was disconnect whatever, but it continued engraving. It scared me because I was like, there goes a wasted piece right there. But it kept on going. I ignored clicking OK and it just finished the engrave. So then I had to power down and do all that stuff, get it back communicating again. But it finished the job, so I was pretty happy about that.
So currently in the fiber type, it's IPG_YLP, but I
Yeah.
need to change that to Raycus.
Yeah.
So that could have been the problems?
it could
It may have
be.
been.
Or
Mine, I've got the 20-watt source, and mine hasn't ever had what seemed to be communication issues before. I don't think I've experienced it. So,
well, what was weird is it
but
was sending everything over. It just wasn't firing. So it was running through the motions, but it was acting like the source wasn't triggering, which is
I
weird.
gotcha.
Sources are fixed.
Okay, well, try that. If not, then go back. It
Yeah,
could
we'll figure
be
it out.
it could be the communication. I mean, it could be that length of wire. I mean, I see you're working on that computer there, and the machine's all the way on the other side. I had to go with the shortest cable possible with mine because it was being a pain, and I haven't had too many issues lately.
And that's why we got the one that Brian always recommends, whatever from
The
Amazon.
Yeah,
the active one. Yeah.
you would think it'd be fine then.
Well, I've had
Yeah. And
issues with USB hubs, powered hubs. I've got this Roland piece of junk print, not that one, but this way is a Roland printer, and it just won't tolerate. It'll kind of halfway work, but it just won't tolerate going through a powered USB hub to a regular USB cable, and it streams data to us. If my computer goes to sleep, very similar stuff. If I unplug it, the whole job is crapped out. But uh, that was like a $40 purchase. That was a waste right there. Could be something
Are those
similar, even with the active repeater.
are those our new shirts?
Oh, this one right here? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking polo.
Yeah. I got it in the mail today. I'm going to wear it to Vegas.
yeah, I needed some. I have holes in all of mine.
Mine do too. At least 4 holes. One for each arm, my neck, and my belly.
Well, mine have extras.
Couple,
More than
couple for
4,
the buttons. Couple for the buttons.
more than 6. um.
I'm
So
sure you
yeah, I
guys
don't
know we'll
have a
be in
topic.
Vegas next week.
Yeah, we could talk about that for a minute.
Who's going to fly out to come see us? Free drinks.
Yeah, free passes too
I didn't
to get
clarify if it
in.
was alcohol or water, but there's free drinks.
See, I don't drink. I'm gonna be the turd in the punch bowl for you. I'll follow you around and nag.
You make sure everybody stays out of jail. How's that?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll be the designated driver and the default answer. So
Yeah.
So, Joe, how are you liking your machine? And are you getting used to it? And you're on mute just in case. There you go.
Yep, I just took it off. Thank you. Liking it pretty well. Creating a
And what'd
few
you get?
things, and the 130, 51 130.
Okay, nice.
And so I just kind of want to give myself room to grow. Maybe that's bigger than what I really needed, but as far as the size goes, it's really haven't done anything to take up that much room yet. But yeah, so I mean, the opportunity is there.
Yeah, anytime somebody walks in and says, "How big can you make it?" You'll be very happy you have that size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
That happens.
make some stuff for the grandson's birthday party coming up for next weekend. So yeah, so it's probably gonna get pretty good size there. So he's gonna be 2. So it'll be fun making some stuff for him.
Sweet. So while Loco Asilo is thinking of our topic for today, uh, um, I've talked a lot about the ecom system. It's kind of up and running. It's live. I haven't broadcast it to the masses yet because we don't have stock built up. But we're using it in pretty much its full capacity, right? Just on a limited basis. So that's going to be rolling out. We'll do a grand announcement when we have plenty of stock of lenses, so we don't run out in the first day or two. I don't think there'll be a rush like that, but you never know. But and then we're going to add stuff, whatever we need to, put some merch on there and all kinds of stuff. So we'll have a store because we have been getting increased pressure from people that they want to buy their parts from us, even though we can send you an Amazon link and you can get it cheaper and faster, sometimes that way. But we are going to plan to pretty much have everything in house. So we've got a crate of power supplies, or a pallet or two of power supplies. Uh, should have plenty of tubes, and we have more stuff coming on the way. Then we're going to start adding all of the tons of lenses, all the optics, and uh, chiller extensions, extension tubes, and motors and drivers. Probably, we'll have enough stock because we used to just keep enough to hold for warranty because we had third-party sources. So I'm excited about it. And except for erasing a little bit of data last night about midnight, everything's been running really smooth. So there's that.
I
We're
do
gonna, we're
have
gonna
a
put an
question about that.
an
I am
A.
interested in getting.
Go ahead.
What's that, Joe?
I am interested in buying another set of mirrors and lenses just as a backup. I do have my machine in the garage, so I noticed the other day we're going through this weather transition, and everything was fogged up,
Mhm.
including glass and everything. Um, so I would like to go ahead and get some new lenses. I don't want to be dead in the water, so to
Sure.
speak. If so
Yeah.
I would like some information on where to get the lenses from, and I don't trust everything from Amazon. I'm a little funny about that, but I want to get good quality with this
Yeah.
machine. You pay good money for it. You want to get good quality parts to put back
Sure.
in if something happens.
Yeah. And we're
So
using 2.6 infrared, and American Photonics is good too. You can right now, if you want a kit, it's best to email admin@thunderlaserusa.com, and they can get you a lens kit, 3 mirrors and a lens, or whatever you need.
Okay.
I'm doing singles, on a hand out the link kind of basis on optics and stuff, but they
Hmm.
requested that I not actually build kits that way, so they can handle you with a more personal approach there. And then of course we can lead you in the right direction of some other sources too. We don't require necessarily that you buy Thunder stuff, but we just know what we
Hmm.
got. We don't know what quality some of the other stuff may be. I think Chris had something to say too. I think I cut him off.
yep,
Oh
yep.
no, I was just gonna
So
say. Oh, him, the other one. Got it.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Uh,
he was going to say the
with
original.
the young one, we'll say that.
Yeah, there you go.
The
There you
with your machine fogging up, I guess was it on a cold night in a warm garage, or your exhaust connected? I mean, that's a lot of.
Uh, yeah. Matter of fact, it was kind of interesting. Um, what had happened, I actually took a couple pictures of it because I was in the process of just making sure that the laser and everything is still centered and all that good stuff. But when I shot the laser over to the third mirror, it was the size of a dime black splotch. And so what had happened was, I didn't know if anybody had ever seen this before or not, but my second mirror was actually fogged up, and that made that just, I guess, get bigger or whatever, if you will, like about the size of the dime hitting the third mirror. So, wiped everything off, let it warm up a little while, and then wiped everything off. And man, we zeroed down to the red dot again, and everything was good. But I did shoot some pictures of that, and I didn't know if you guys ever come across that in tech support or anything like that. If someone does have theirs in not a climate controlled environment, that hey,
Actually,
that could probably cause problems.
we do have one customer that keeps on going through lenses and they can't figure out why, and we're gonna have to go backwards, I think.
Yeah, we've had a couple instances where the room was conditioned and it was real hot outside and humid, and they didn't have a blast gate, or the vent wasn't closed all the way, and the whole inside of the machine was just dripping with condensate. So we've seen similar stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say is two things you could do. You open up the main lid when you're done for the
Hmm.
day, and then, if you've got a way of disconnecting your exhaust either with the blast gate or physically removing it so that you don't have any kind of temperature difference where you got cold air coming into a warm environment or vice versa, to try to minimize that, because your mirrors are probably a little more resilient, but if your lens has got moisture on it and then you start firing that laser, that lens could uh, go brown, fogged up, real nasty, real quick. And
Wait,
moisture just holds dust
Yeah.
too.
What part of the country you in?
Yeah. Because I'm 30 miles north of Cincinnati and here in Ohio.
Oh, so you're up by me then. Yeah, you just fought those 80-degree temperatures with that 100% humidity is what you're fighting.
Yeah, no doubt. Was
Because I'm
actually
in,
this was last weekend, but yeah, I noticed. Because my garage was really cool and it was really humid outside yesterday. And man, as soon as I opened that garage door, everything was just all immediately fogged up. Even one of the car's windows inside the garage was just all fogged up.
Goodness.
yeah, we had, yeah, I'm up in Newark. Yeah, our temperature was 83 and the humidity was at 94% with no rain at that point in time. And I actually had to turn on our air conditioning yesterday because I could not physically breathe. I was having breathing issues. And I'm like, I've never ever turned on the air conditioning before June. And I had to do it because everything in our house was soaked. I mean, it was like you sat down,
Uh-huh.
touched anything, and it was all wet. So yeah, I understand what he was fighting on that.
Yeah, but that's just something I'm really going to have to watch and pay attention to, and maybe even put a little piece of tape over that third mirror and just make sure that laser is firing all the way good over to the third mirror, and make sure everything is good. That way I don't burn anything up.
Another thing you can do is keep a fan running in there and keep the air flowing, and get a
Yeah.
dehumidifier. Keep a dehumidifier going in there during the summertime. I have dehumidifier running in my shop constantly.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
what was that lady's name? Do you remember? Either of you guys?
Sarah, is it Sarah?
I'm looking. That might be
Sarah
our
with an H.
problem though.
Yeah, with an H.
I'll find it. Yep, got it.
That's weird. My camera was turned itself off at some point, and I didn't even know when.
Jim too.
Yeah.
Jim's gone.
Yeah, it
That's
glitched.
weird.
The
Yeah,
software
I think the
glitched.
whole system's glitching today. It's not acting right. I'm so gun shy because I've had so many internet problems recently. I just think it's me whenever I see something glitch, but apparently it's system wide.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because it was. I don't know if you glitched because you started it and it kicked both of us because we're organizers, or what happened.
Yeah.
It was weird
Huh.
because it even did the default thing that it's now being recorded to my ear.
Yeah. So when we're gone, we need to put that thing out too, don't we? That little
Yeah.
notice about us being gone. We could talk about that for just a minute because it may be good because somebody might hear it and can relay it, if there's questions about it uh, in the groups or whatever. But uh, we ought to just read Chris's what he put together because that was perfect. But we'll
Can we pull
we'll
it up?
still be responding. Huh?
Can we pull it up?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Oh, it's nothing fancy.
It's nothing fancy,
It was
but
very
yeah, it
It
is.
was very
It's
fancy.
very fancy. We're still going to be responding, but we're usually so fast that you may notice a little bit of difference, but it'll still be way better than everybody else on the planet. Um, but since we're all going to be manning that event thing, we're going to kind of triage the questions. And Chris developed it. I don't know if you want to expand on that or not. I just kind of wanted to set the stage that while we're still going to be super responsive, it won't be stellar superstar like it usually is, maybe in some instances, or maybe a slight delay.
Yeah. Are you going to share the document or just I can kind of speak to it?
I can share the document. I got
All
to
right.
find it. It's in Google Forms, right?
Yep. Yeah. So for the most part, the idea is to kind of rank the priority level of the ticket. So if it's a machine failure, downtime, that kind of stuff, that's high priority. Um, if it's something user inflicted, like they need help setting up their new computer, their um, Thundercam, something like that, that's kind of mid level. We're going to send you some articles and walk you through it the best we can. But please use the literature as provided. And then the low level will be like pure light burn questions, um, the Willet laser demo request, your initial setup, so scanning offset, lookup, stuff like that. So we will give you the article and as much as we can, but those will be the lowest priority. The ones of getting the machines back running again, getting parts dispatched, those will be the highest priority. So
Yeah. And we'll have someone hanging back in Texas for shipping warranty parts and that kind of thing. So we covered our bases on that stuff too. So nobody will probably notice a big difference, but we want to try to be proactive instead of reactive. So
Yeah, hopefully we're not getting bum rushed, the whole time that we're
yeah,
there at the booth, and we have time to do all
yeah.
that other stuff.
Honestly, the levels over the past week or two have dropped a little bit. Everything's either
Shut
running
your
really smooth or people
shut your
just
mouth.
aren't.
knock on wood. No, it comes and goes. I think we're all comparing it to the big Christmas rush and then the post Christmas cleanup season.
Yeah,
Um, that was
it,
brutal.
yeah.
I think
It
all the makers
definitely
feel the pain.
it ebbs and tides. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little smoother though since our delivery speed is so great. Instead of people waiting 2 months for their machines, there being big gaps in between it. It's kind of smoothed out a little bit, not so bumpy of a ride, but everything seems to be cool. Everybody's running right along.
So are you guys heading out to the Vegas sign show?
Hmm.
Is that
Yep.
okay?
At Mandalay Bay.
I was wanting to try to make it out there. I bet that would be a really neat event.
Yeah, I just noticed Konica Minolta business machines are going to be there. I used to work at a place that did IT and copiers, so I was Konica Minolta trained. I might have to go over there and stick my head in and see if I recognize anybody. There'll be a lot of people. I'm going to definitely go look around at some places. I didn't see a whole lot of laser people. There are, but man, there's a lot of big manufacturers there. I haven't ever been to anything like that, not in this vertical market space. I've been to other expos for other things, uh, but not with all the cool machinery and stuff that I'm probably going to see. So I'm
It's
kind of
gonna be
excited
interesting
about
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
We'll be running stuff too,
Oh yeah. May not have
And
a
we're
whole
gonna have
lot of
filter
time to
boxes,
look
right?
around. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we'll have extractors. Sir,
Yeah, so we'll be probably the ones setting that up.
Do we need to take a toolbox with us, or are we going to use the stuff that comes in the tools box like everybody else?
Yes. How close is Walmart to the strip, or Lowe's, or Home Depot?
we
That
could
kit's not bad.
Uber Eats it.
No, the kits aren't bad. The Allen wrenches are a little soft. Uh, for the
There's
most
only
part.
a few tools that you're missing that you could take the entire machine apart. It's like a 10 mil socket, a 8 mil socket, um, and then like a 13 or 14 or 12, a couple sizes that you could actually just take that whole machine apart for the most part. It's amazing.
Sounds like you've done that a few times.
Yeah, I've scrapped a few.
All right, so I am
And
super impressed with these rotary settings. Highly
this
impressed
is
with these rotary
the
settings.
basis of your upcoming article.
Yeah, I
That
can
looks
hardly
super.
see any lines on that. It's yeah, I think finally, and it wasn't easy. It was a nightmare.
Did you do increase the angles on that, or do a crosshatch, or did you just stick to?
You can't with photos on the
Yeah,
rotary. It won't allow you to do it. But yeah, everything's coming out great. Little Thor
nice.
action. But yeah, as long
Now,
as you can't see the splits.
yeah. So how long did it take to dial that in?
I don't know, a
Did you
week or
keep up
so.
with your time?
No, I didn't want to.
It's a $3,000 Yeti right there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Or
Yeah,
if it was a Stanley Cup.
Actually, I want to do that full. Shrink it down a little bit. That's pretty.
I don't think I have anything to talk about. That's strange. So if anybody has any questions, feel free.
We can start the debate.
Oh,
Well,
Red,
yeah, of.
red dot or no red dot.
Oh no.
Okay, Brian, I got one real quick.
Okay, sure.
Okay, that new pump, the air pump, came in
Okay.
Tuesday instead of Monday. We went ahead and threw it on, and I've been doing jobs.
Mhm.
It stays running.
Is your TL timer in the switch? Does your exhaust fan stay running too?
I have the exhaust fan on its own switch, so I turn it on when the laser and the chiller and all that stuff. So I don't have the
Yeah.
fan on the back of the laser.
What about
Okay.
the green lights on the air assist test buttons? Are those lit up?
No, not until the job runs.
You know what probably happened? One of the relays probably shorted when it if the pump failed, it
When we
might have
had
shorted
issues with
out
the
one of
first
them.
pump.
And stayed
Yep.
closed.
So it's a welded
Mhm.
contact at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I can send you a relay or two. Did we inspect those? I don't know if I had any pictures on that or not. If not, I'll send you some info on what to look for on the relays.
Yeah, I know CeeLo had recommended it. I did not pop anything out. I just looked at the board, looked for any kind of burn spots or anything like that, but I didn't actually pull anything out of the machine.
Okay.
Rich,
We can do. Yeah, go ahead.
do you use a rotary on your machine?
I have not. That's one of the things Brian and I discussed. That's one part that we wanted to get into, but I have not used that yet. No.
Okay. What I was gonna say is you could take the slot 5 relay and your exhaust relay. You got two, so the bookends 1 and 5, and put those in the 2 and 3 position, and that would alleviate your exhaust fan
Mhm.
coming or your pump staying on until we send you the replacement part.
Yeah.
Okay, slot 5 is for the rotary,
Correct.
and that needs
And
to go where?
slot 2 or 3, whichever one has a welded contact, or you can
Okay,
use the
so
one
we
from
have to look
slot
at slots
1.
2 and 3 to see.
Correct.
Okay.
It'll be
slot
it should be
one,
lit up.
no, it won't be lit
Right.
up if it's a
No,
welded contact.
if it's welded, it
Yeah,
won't light up. Okay.
nope, nope. Or you can take the slot one relay, which is your exhaust fan relay. Since you've got it on its own separate switch, unless that switch is still using the relay, you could use that one to swap into the number 2 or 3 spot.
Yeah.
So,
And then
exhaust
we'll
fan
send some more.
display.
Let me see if I can pull this screen up. I'm gonna pull that internal breaker tripping article so we can visualize.
Yeah, there's probably a brown spot on one of those yellow lenses.
Let's try that screen. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
So these are the two air assist relays.
Okay.
And I need the other document. I don't have these marked. The first one is exhaust, right?
Then low air, then high air.
Yeah, and
Doors.
then
Then
rotary.
Yep.
Is the last one. So you could take he would take he could take both of the ones on the ends and replace 2 and 3 with those, like you were saying, and then it should be okay. Or you could just pull them out at a time and see when it cuts off. It may just be one.
Okay. Yeah, I thought
Or
that was
could-
odd when I fired it up yesterday, and the air pump right away kicks on and stays running.
Yeah, and see,
Gotcha.
it's probably deadheading at that point because the solenoid's not open. So we definitely want to get that relay swapped over.
Trigger.
Okay, perfect.
And then we'll faulty. We'll determine that and get you some more out there. But that's a good workaround so you can keep going.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
And I had to find that ticket again.
Which one? Yeah, somebody keeps on logging in, logging out. There's something really crazy going on today. I do. So, all right, Jim,
I'm still here.
you do a lot of stuff. Lois, you too. Anybody that has a response to this, how do you feel about full wraps on tumblers? Since it was brought up earlier, and Stanley's and stuff like that.
The beard shaking no.
You can't pay me enough to do that.
Well, and that's kind of my question, because I do take sales calls in the morning, and there's a lot of people that want to do them, and I have to kind of lay the reality stick down.
I thought it was free.
My thoughts are it's going to be a price tag.
It is, and there's only one person that I've talked to so far, and she's charging $200 per tumbler, and in my mind, that might make it worth it. But you have settings to figure out to get it to wrap around correctly. You have graphics to figure out to get it to wrap around. I know for a fact a 3 to 4 inch graphic takes about 4 to 5 minutes on the tumbler. Now go all the way around, so you're at 20 something minutes to do this, plus the time you spent to set it up. So where does it become profitable again to do it?
$200.
One side, so these two take about 5 minutes.
Right. And you're doing them separately.
Well, it does the one, and then because we're doing them in the CO2, obviously, so it does the one, and then it turns and it does the other side.
So yeah, I just did some fairly large ones earlier today, and for a realtor, and they take about 5 minutes on average, and that's probably quarter of it. So yeah, and trying to do a full wrap, and trying to do the layout and all the graphics tied into it, I prefer not to do them and waste and waste 5 or 6 tumblers trying to get it lined up exactly right. I mean, it's like trying to stagger wallpaper.
It's true. Very true.
You're dating yourself there, Jim.
Yeah, I know. I've hung too much wallpaper in my lifetime.
I've had to remove too much in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, I never want to have to install it again.
And that was
Buying
just
houses from
once,
the
right, Chris?
80s. Yeah,
Once
painted
is
over
enough.
wallpaper.
It's like stagger patterns, and then worry about dialots on top of the staggered patterns, and making sure your dialots are running correctly, and make sure your staggers are setting up exact. Remember to cut off that extra 4 or 5 inches at the bottom to stagger. Yeah, not
No, thank you.
fun. And then it's fun when you get it up there and it starts slipping on you.
Yeah, so I was just kind of interested because I'm talking to a lot of these people and they want to do it because they see it, and it's cool to do for yourself or for your loved ones and what have you. But is there really profit in doing it? And I just don't think it's there. I'm not paying $200 for a Yeti. I don't care what's printed on it. Louis Vuitton, butterflies. I don't care.
It
Yeah,
has to be
about it.
inlaid in solid gold or something.
Right.
I've thought
If
about
it,
messing with them and stuff, but it's just I've looked at the timelines of trying to do it and get it to lay out perfectly. And if your your rotary's off the least little bit on circumference, or your
Your steps.
crap, yeah, your steps are off the least little bit,
Or if
You're
it's
not
it's gonna
matching.
show. Yeah,
tilted a
Yep.
little.
I see people doing them. I'm going, yeah, good for you. How many times did it take you to get that one right? Yeah, Brian, you're all mess. Yeah,
Maybe he's the
every
one
time you
that's
talk, you're straight static. It's a good
now
thing you
there's
did switch
also
over to me.
the full wraps that aren't repeating patterns that intersect. So if you just got objects like sprites or something that, okay, they're off. They shifted a 16th of an inch versus an eighth of an inch on the last one. The eye probably won't see it. Those aren't bad.
Yeah, if
When
it's
they're
just
doing
random
like,
right.
crap, if it's just random crap all over the place, yeah, it wouldn't be bad. If you're doing like diagonal lines and it's got to match back up again, forget that.
yeah, that's too much.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Dan.
Wait, did everybody freeze or no? I guess no.
No, we're
Chris was
just
just
staying.
staring. No, Chris was staring. Myers was staring for so long. I'm going, holy shit! He's not even moving as he froze.
That's deep in the ticket system reading.
Yeah, I'm guessing because I was like, okay, Blink, do something. I can't. It's like the system froze. And then there's Brian trying to talk muted, and then when he does talk when it's unmuted, he sounds like some kind of static. It's your mic. When you talk,
I
it's
think
straight
he's got.
static. You're
That's
back.
weird.
That sounds like Friday the 13th.
Brian needs to get a new computer.
Hey, can you just mute him? Like
Yeah, I'm
permanent?
going to. Yeah, I'm getting ready to mute him.
Brian's like, mute who? Mute me?
There.
No.
Ah,
Yeah.
That face. That was the version of this.
yeah.
Poor
Okay.
Brian.
Okay, so we're trying to play on the fiber by ourselves, unattended, and it's not working.
That looks a little hot.
That and it is smaller than it was earlier, even though it's the exact same size on my screen. I don't know why now all of a sudden it's getting sent to the laser at a smaller size. So then I made it bigger, like a lot bigger on my screen, and it's still really not any bigger. And we changed some settings, and it's still burning the crud out of it.
I can tell you why.
Okay. He said he
Tommy,
refocused.
are
I
you
was not in charge of
all
that.
right? Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with it.
He said he did it. We're
Isn't it
gonna
supposed
have
to
to
have
order another
autofocus?
case of 50 of these.
So it'll change size as you get closer. It'll get smaller, and as you get further away, it'll get larger. So yes, it works like that.
I mean, but
He raises his hands up in the air. I give up.
Nothing changed.
All right, let's put Brian back on. See if his mic
I'll
is
try it.
fixed.
I'll try it. Oh shit! I can't send unmute request. I can send an unmute request.
Oh, he just has to do it himself. Then
Yeah.
it was so weird. He's
Now
like,
you
nope,
can't even.
not gonna.
Yep. I ain't gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. Oh, poor Brian. There you
Why not?
go.
I focused. Good God.
okay.
So what it's doing is like every time you talk, it's like,
It's like.
yeah, you open your mouth, it's like, yes, no joke.
It's back to original size.
All right, well maybe
You have
not
to
when you
make
open it, when you
You have
actually
to make a
speak.
noise. It's like.
While it's framing, lift that thing up and down and see what the picture looks like.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about that?
Hey, that's a
There you
lot
go,
better.
perfect.
It's my noise canceling program. I'm going to quit using it, which means it's going to pick up all kinds of crazy noise sometimes.
It's hard
Oh,
to
my.
see, Rich.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
Give him
number
that-
2. There's a
Rich.
dark spot. Yeah, right up in
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I can see it.
Rich,
Okay.
kill your blurred background. It makes it too hard for you to focus
Yeah.
when you got that
well,
blurred background on.
he said dark spot. That's all we need.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll send him some more. So, if the other one, you think we ought to send him 2, Chris, just to be safe? May not hurt. They're not bad. You're muted.
Yeah, I went ahead and I swapped them like you suggested, turned the machine back on, and yeah, I don't know if you can hear it, but the pump is not running. So
Okay.
that's exactly what it was.
Okay. We could probably narrow it down to one bad relay. But
Well, that's what it is. I just pulled that one. I pulled
Okay.
all of them, but when I put the number 2 back in from slot number 1, it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
So,
So,
yeah, all good.
and I think you replied back. I opened that ticket back up. So I'll get you a oh, no, that was me doing it again. You should have gotten a notification in your email, but I'll get you another relay headed your direction before we, shut down for the weekend and all that stuff. So that way it'll get there to you as quickly
Thank
as
you, Brian.
possible. Sure, man. Sorry for the trouble.
No, all good.
Fast, simple fix. Some temporary fix. Just get back in business.
Yeah, we've come up with a few workarounds, even for the autofocus. That one kind of scares me, but I think we've
I don't
had
even
pretty
know.
good luck.
I hardly ever even use my autofocus anymore. I did when I first got it, and now it's the point of I don't even. The only time I use it is if I want the bread, if I'm curled down really deep in the bed and I want it to come all the way back up top, and I don't feel like sitting there holding the button to get it to return.
Yeah.
I hit the autofocus, make sure my head's up, and I get it to come back up top. That's literally the only time I use it anymore.
Yeah. A lot of people just manually focus, and there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, because you know what's going on, but I like it. Well, one thing because I use the camera, so that keeps it.
Well, if
where
I'm
it
using
needs.
the camera, I will bring it in to autofocus that way, just so I know my camera's in if I'm using it for that. I forgot
Yeah.
about that part. Other than that, yeah, I'm half the time, because my optimal focus is 5.45 was my optimal focus on the ramp test, if I remember way
Mhm.
back in the day when I first did it.
Which is
So I've
about the
got a,
thickness of that acrylic. I think
yeah, which is
it's not quite 6. Yeah.
so I've got that, but I mean I've got lines up and down that ramp, that acrylic
Yeah.
ramp for what I'm doing.
Now, if you
And
wanted to, you could calibrate the autofocus to your optimal focus instead of just the nominal focus. You could do that too.
Yeah,
So
I hadn't
just
tried
by moving
that.
that stop ring.
Oh yeah, I'm just so used to now just doing it, and then
Yeah.
it's faster for me just to drop the
It's
head.
it's a good workflow. You get into that routine. Takes no time to focus. So
Well, what I ask people is, you remember your childhood phone number?
Which one? Yeah, I
yeah.
remember all of them.
I do.
Yeah. You remember the last 5 phone numbers, any of them that somebody's given to you this year?
Nope.
Because we put them in our digital cell phones and off they go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, half the people's giving me their phone numbers. I never even seen them.
I don't
I just
use the
handed my
phone,
I handed my
so
phone
I
and
don't
say,
have to
"Here,
worry
put your
about
phone
it.
number there."
But it's just that memory thing of, you know,
Uh,
physically back then you had to sit there. Some of y'all had to versus
Mhm.
oh
do.
yes, you get to the
What are you
last
Nowadays,
saying?
you get to the last digit.
nowadays,
You either didn't bring it all the way around, or you stuck your finger in the wrong hole, and you're like, "Gosh, click, start over."
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Or
remember
your
that,
finger
and
gets
it.
stuck, or your finger gets stuck in there because you're trying to do it so fast you end up catching just out of your finger or something in the hole, and you got fat fingers.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember a party line. You'd have to pick up and make sure. I had to make sure my neighbor wasn't talking before I could. Sometimes you'd hear some interesting stuff on there too.
And then it was cool when you got away from the 3-foot cords to all of a sudden you got the 5 and 8-foot cords
Hmm.
that you could actually get away from the phone
Yeah.
instead of being sitting there right next to
Yeah.
it.
And I don't know if it's just me, but I would imagine there's more people that probably have nerve damage on this finger from wrapping the cord around it and making it turn blue while you're talking because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Oh man, look, we're within 4 minutes, and we only had about 4 moments of awkward silence. So that's good. Five moments of awkward silence. So
Okay, so are we ready for a lesson learned?
Yes.
okay.
Poor file.
When you have the damn thing set on a 200 millimeter lens and you're supposed to be using a 110 millimeter lens, it changes everything.
Poor file.
It may
It did.
do that.
We just realized it. I flipped it back over to because I was messing with what you told me to change was the Raycus source,
Hmm.
and the last one I did was the larger lens, and we've got
Oh,
the smaller lens in. So once we flipped it back over, everything was at
I got
least
you.
not the same size.
So you got separate device profiles for each lens set up, and it follows it. Yeah.
And if that Raycus works, you're gonna have to change it on both profiles. FYI.
It's already changed on both profiles.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it's my fault. I did not change the profile back to the 110 millimeter lens.
We wouldn't have blamed anybody else. It would have just been you. It's not Lois's fault.
Yeah, well, I said we know it's not
Always
Lois's
my
fault.
fault.
She don't Lois don't make mistakes like that.
Well, even if it was, we'd still have to blame him, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's done.
Yeah, they could all hear the sound.
Yep.
Wait. What's that noise?
It makes noise.
You don't have that? You don't have that?
There's a
No, in your
setting that says
there's a
make
setting.
noise.
I've got the file transfer one, and I need to turn that off. That's annoying.
Much better. So
Yeah, I was getting hammered today.
if you
File
guys
transfer.
end up doing so less power and more passes, you won't have to clean that. So if you do 2 passes,
So cut the power in half.
I wouldn't say in half, but you can drop it a little bit, do a crosshatch. Either way, and you shouldn't have to clean it.
I'm guessing because you're not generating as much material at one time, so the exhaust is taking more of it out instead of hitting hard.
They don't have their exhaust hooked up. So.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yes,
now.
No, you
Yeah.
you got it now. Good.
It's 5, Brian.
Is it?
Sweet.
No, it isn't. It's
No,
4. Real time. It's 4.
3, 2.
it's not
1.
even for real time.
Now, we're